It's Monday night, so we're doing spaghetti in a homemade meat sauce for dinner. So first I'm going to start off by chopping up all my veg. I have onions there, and I'm also going to chop up some garlic, and this is a great way you can actually add in any extra vegetables that you have in your fridge that you're trying to use up. I had some leftover carrot and celery from a salad, so all of those are going to get all sauteed together in the Instant Pot with a little bit of olive oil. I'm using 2 tablespoons of olive oil there. Now, a trick for kids here is to put all of your veggies inside of like a food processor and blend them until they're super small, and then your kids won't notice it as much because it kind of all blends in together. So that's a great way to get extra veggies into your kids for such a simple meal that most kids really like. So we're just tossing all of our veggies into our Instant Pot there, and we're going to let them saute out for a little bit. We're also going to add in our seasonings once I get a little bit of a stir in there. So I'm going to add 1 tablespoon of this dried oregano. And for once I'm actually measuring, so you're welcome. Half a tablespoon of parsley, dried parsley, going in there as well. I'm also going to do half a tablespoon of dried basil. And then it seems odd, but I'm also going to add half a tablespoon of turmeric. Now, the turmeric is definitely optional. You do not have to add it in. There's just so many health benefits to turmeric, and my husband really likes it when I can add it in wherever I can. So I just went ahead and added it into the sauce. So you'll notice that the veggies do kind of look a little yellow as we're cooking them. So after giving them a good mix and a good saute, I'm going to add in my meat. But before I do that, I'm just going to go ahead and add 1 teaspoon of salt and hopefully 1 teaspoon of black pepper. I just grinded it right into the pot. So I'm going to go ahead and throw my meat in now. I am using 1 pound of lean ground beef. So I'm just going to go ahead and start breaking that ground beef up. I want to get it really good and mixed in with the veggies so that it can take on all of those really great flavors. And we're going to let this cook in the Instant Pot until our meat is fully cooked. And while the meat is cooking, I'm going to go ahead and get my pasta water boiling. And I'm also going to turn my oven on and preheat it to 350 for some garlic bread. So now that my meat is fully cooked, I'm going to go ahead and add in a jar of pasta sauce. You can just use a can of tomato sauce because there's lots of great flavors in this that will flavor the tomato sauce. But I like to just use jarred pasta. And you'll see that there was leftover sauce in the jar. Add a little bit of water and shake it up. Get all of that sauce in there and make sure that you have no food waste. So I'm just going to pour it in. That was about a half a cup of water that I added to the jar. And then I did find it was a little thick, so I did go ahead and add in another half a cup of water. Gave that a little mix. Pop the lid on the Instant Pot just so that it could keep cooking and staying warm. So I'm going to go ahead and make some garlic bread. So I just had a baguette in my freezer. I cut it into like sandwich type slices. I did a homemade garlic and Parmesan butter. Really simple, just butter, Parmesan cheese, garlic powder, and I did also parsley. So once I had all those little sandwiches made up, I went ahead and wrapped them in aluminum foil. That way they're not gonna get super brown and hard in the oven. The aluminum foil kind of makes a barrier and helps to keep it nice and soft. So once I have all of those wrapped up in the foil, I'm gonna go ahead and pop them in the oven, 350, 15 minutes or so. And that 15 minutes now buys me time to boil my spaghetti noodles. So I've already gone ahead and salted my water. And what I do is, I always do this. I don't know if you guys do this, but I always break my spaghetti noodles in half to make them smaller. I don't know why I do it, but I just do. So I'm going to cook these noodles according to the package directions, And once that's cooked, I just served it on a plate, put the meat sauce over top of it, my bread on the side, and then I also made a Caesar to go with it. This also made leftover sauce too. So tonight was butter chicken night. This one is a family favorite. It is so delicious. We all like it. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to get all of our veggies chopped up and ready to go. I've already gone ahead and I've chopped up 3 cloves of garlic there, and I'm just chopping up an onion as well. And this comes together really fast in the Instant Pot. It's great. So I'm going to go ahead, turn my Instant Pot to saute, and I'm putting in 2 tablespoons of that extra virgin olive oil there, and I'm going to toss in my onions and garlic and get them sauteing, get them going. While my onions and garlic are sauteing away, I am peeling and I'm going to chop up 2 carrots to go along with this. I'm not going to saute the carrots. I'm just going to add them in, same with the peas, when I go to add in my chicken and my sauce, because we're going to pressure cook this. So I'm just going ahead and chopping up my carrots. And because I'm going to be shredding the chicken in the end, I tried to make the carrots on the smaller side just so that it matches the size of the shredded chicken and also the size of the peas. So my onions and garlic have sauteed. I'm going to go ahead and add in my chicken breasts. This is 2 chicken breasts that I've actually filleted, and I'm adding them in frozen. This is the great thing about the Instant Pot. My 2 carrots go in, and I have a cup of frozen peas also going in there. This is the sauce we like to use. We buy it at Costco in a 2-pack. And we're just going to pour it in. And then to get that extra little bit, you know me, I added a cup of water into that jar, shook it around, and added it to the pot just because we like to have a little bit more sauce, a little bit more liquid with our butter chicken. So I'm just trying to give that as good of a stir as I can. I only have a 3-quart Instant Pot, so it can get a little tight, but this recipe actually was the perfect size for it. It reached right up to the max fill line. So once it's pressure cooked for a half an hour, I took the chicken out, shredded it, added it back in, and this is our final product. And then while it was actually pressure cooking, I also made some rice and paratas, I think is how you pronounce it, and I served it just like that. This is a family favorite, super delicious. So on this night, we had some butternut squash soup. Lots of veggies in the soup, and it's super delicious. So the things that we're going to need in order to get us going here, I've got some garlic. I also got a whole onion. We're going to add in 3 carrots with that. And I had a sweet potato, so I'm adding it in. Also a whole butternut squash, some salt, pepper, oregano, and chicken bouillon. And then to saute the onions and garlic, we're using a little bit of extra virgin olive oil and about 2 tablespoons of butter. So I've chopped up about 4 large garlic cloves, and I'm chopping up my 1 onion as well. And once that is all ready to go, we're throwing it into the pot so that these veggies can get sauteing. I'm chopping up my carrots and my sweet potato. I've gone ahead and peeled them and also gave them a rinse. Size-wise, I'm not too worried. I'm just trying to kind of make them match the butternut squash size that I had already chopped up, just so everything cooks around the same time. So I've gone ahead and added in my sweet potato and carrots. I added in my bag of butternut squash, and I've added in enough chicken bouillon for me to make 4 cups of stock. I gave the bouillon a little stir so it was more evenly distributed so that I didn't get any clumps. 1 tablespoon of oregano. And I've added in some salt and pepper. You don't really need too much salt because of the chicken bouillon. Giving it a stir, throwing the lid on that sucker, and we're going to let it boil and simmer for about a half an hour. Half an hour later, all of our veggies are nice and soft and tender, and we're going to go ahead and puree this. Now my big adult pureer is broken, so I had to use the Baby Breeza. Mom life. But we're going to go ahead and puree all of our soup up in obviously small batches. Once it's all pureed, this is what it looks like. And you can serve it up just like this, You can serve it with breadsticks, you can serve it with croutons, or just like this on its own is really delicious as well. So on this night, we needed dinner and we needed it fast. So I decided to do some ham, scallop potatoes, and some vegetables. The meat portion of this is super simple. You need a can of sliced pineapple and a ham. Pour a little bit of the liquid of the pineapple on the bottom of your tray, and then grab your ham and just slice it up as thin or as thick as you and your family like it. Once that's all chopped up, we're going to work in layers. So we're going to do a layer of ham, a layer of pineapple, and then repeat the process. This normally does enough to do 2 layers. And that's all that is part of this. The ham has enough salt. You don't need any other salt or seasonings for this. Cover it with foil and set it aside because I decided to make some scallop potatoes. I had to use boxed because I was in a pinch. So I'm just making that to the package directions, which worked out perfectly because it's going to bake at 375 with the ham in the oven for a half an hour. Popping those in the oven now, and I was thinking to myself, I need more veggie in this dinner. I looked at my fridge and realized that I had a whole veggie tray that the veggies, nobody was eating from it, and I had made it 2 days prior. So I figured, why not 1, save me time on chopping, 2, have less food waste, and 3, get this big tray out of my fridge. So I just went ahead and threw everything into a bowl. And this year for Christmas, my in-laws actually gave us a bunch of new seasonings. I'm really excited to try them this year. This is David's No Salt Veggie Rub. So what I'm going to do to the veggies, I'm just adding a tablespoon of extra virgin olive oil and about half a tablespoon of the seasoning. If I can find a link for this online, then I'll put it down below in the description box. After a good stir, I'm just popping these in the air fryer on the veggie setting. And they'll come out just in time for the ham and scallop potatoes to be done. Half an hour later, you have this beautiful dinner. Delicious. Thanks so much for watching. Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button. And if you have a recipe suggestion, let me know down below. Thanks so much, guys. Bye.